AITA for turning every meal I make for my mother into an act of revenge? I've never told anyone this, not even my husband. But it happened again tonight, and honestly, I feel a little giddy because once again it worked perfectly. I know this makes me a terrible person, but I can't bring myself to care. Maybe that's why I've never shared this before, because I know how it sounds. When I was a kid, my mom had this thing where she'd punish me in a way that no one could see. She didn't hit me, not because she didn't want to, but because my dad wouldn't let her. He was adamant if she ever laid a hand on me or my siblings, he'd leave. He'd been through his own childhood of abuse and he swore it would never happen to his kids. But that didn't stop her from finding her own way. Instead of physical punishment, she'd weaponize food, specifically spicy food. My mom knew I couldn't handle it. It would make me sick. Stomach cramps, diarrhea, the whole deal. But she didn't care. If my dad was working nights, she'd make these overly spicy meals and guilt me into eating them. If I even asked for something else, she'd cry and tell me how much time and effort she put into cooking for me, asking if I didn't love her. She'd make it seem like I was the bad guy, so I'd sit there and eat, even though I knew I'd regret it later. Fast forward to when I was 16 and my dad started working day shifts. That's when I started cooking dinner twice a week. My mom has always hated pasta. She says it's the texture, claims it's slimy, and can't stand the look of something like baked spaghetti. One night, after a day where she'd screamed at me for who knows what, it clicked. I could do something about it. That night, I made pasta for dinner, loaded with sauce, baked just the way I knew she'd hate. When she tried to turn it down, I went straight into the act. I put on the tears, looked at the table and said, "You've always eaten it before, Mom. What did I do wrong? Are you mad at me?" And with my dad sitting there or anyone else whose opinion she cared about, she couldn't say no. She choked it down, trying to keep her face neutral, and I felt this small, secret satisfaction. I've been doing this for 10 years now. Every chance I get, if we're sharing a meal and I'm cooking, it's pasta, chicken Alfredo, lasagna, spaghetti, you name it. It's petty, I know, but after everything she put me through, it feels like justice in a way. She still can't say no without looking like the bad guy, and I'm not going to give her the satisfaction of thinking she's in control anymore. I don't care if this makes me the bad guy. Watching her fake a smile and force down pasta is the highlight of my week every time. This is my little revenge, and I plan to keep it going as long as I can.